The Executive Director, Health Emergency Initiative, Pascal Achinine, joins us now in the studio to take a look at the trend of things. Nice to see you, Pascal.
It's my pleasure.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Morning.
Great.
Good morning.
Now, if you see the figures in the last week or two, we don't seem to be recording what we used to record about a month ago. At this point, can we say that we have plateaued so far, or we are gradually flattening the curve?
It is also some mystery to pundits and health experts on how Africa is weathering the storm as against the projection that was expected from here, deaths and increase in fatalities. But I think there has been some resilience among state actors, those involved in driving this. But Africa's weather and tropical peculiarities may have also supported, because COVID-19 thrives where the weather is cold, but here we have more of a hot weather most of the time. But I think we must give credit to the managers of the health system, the presidential task force, and the states, especially Lagos and Abuja, where we had more infection. But the figures still show that in Nigeria, so far, we have tested 1 out of every 50,000. Kenya, for instance, has been able to achieve 1 out of 10,000. So have we tested enough to validate that the curve is beginning to flatten? I would say we need to do more. Secondly, there are many entities, especially private sector initiatives taken so far to cooperate or complement what the government is doing. So a lot more needs to be done. I cited Bill and Melinda Foundation, Dangote Foundation, the key role they played in bringing polio down. So we need to activate that same template, especially.
So because that's the same thing the government is saying,
Yes.
that it is going to use the same template with which it was able to, conquer polio to
Yes.
drive the way that we are going to ensure that we conquer what's COVID-19
yes.
as well.
And even Ebola.
As well as Ebola, because that was the same, format we used. But how confident are you that we would be able to achieve that? Are we on that path already, if I may ask?
We have got to the stage of community transmission. And if you cast your mind back, you see that for polio, you will see health workers, volunteer workers, in almost every street, in almost every close across the country. That level of detailed attention has not been deployed yet. So that is the sort of template we want to see, because education is key. It's important to clarify something. Many who feel that, after all, there is if you go around, there are so much we can call pandemic of anemia, hunger, pandemic of malnutrition. Right now, our organization realized that engagement with health institutions, meningitis is also becoming a pandemic. So people feel even if COVID-19 doesn't kill me, something else will kill me. So sensitization, using that template, engaging the communities, engaging CDAs, engaging people at the world level and traditional rulers is very key to create the reality that COVID-19 kills. And then the before vaccination, let people have more access to testing, because in some communities, people have not been tested.
Right.
There are concerns across the board for some Nigerians with regards to the easing of the lockdown, schools beginning to reopen in terms of for exit classes, where we are beginning to see some persons or students testing positive. So, and then we're also looking at reopening of the international airspace. Now, some persons are concerned that could there be a second wave and spike in the numbers that we are seeing, and are we able to really going to handle this the way we should head on?
True. Second wave is already happening around the world, and we are not immune to COVID-19. So what we suggest that should, as an organization, Health Emergency Initiative, our recommendation is that technology needs to be deployed also, because we've done most of the engagement so far, intervention, without paying attention to using tech. Some are using drones.
Yeah.
But that is a long journey for us as a country. But there are also some test kits that some of them that can be done with a shorter turnaround time. If the schools resume, especially, I have seen notification that by September, tertiary institutions will also resume, and that means that more children will be, more students will be in the school. The government must go beyond talking about it and address those fears. So there will be fear by parents as to what measures schools have put in place. Part of those measures will be that there will be specific personnel, independent personnel that will be in those schools to make sure there is compliance, not only the process or framework put in place by the schools. So the government and other sectors that are working on COVID-19 must have independent personnel that to ensure compliance. Secondly, it's also very important that there will be quick turnaround time for testing. In case there is a case of a child infected, it can be isolated. But most important is PPE. So we realize that no matter how we pretend about it, availability of PPE will make a difference. All right. For instance, we've gone further beyond talking to provide PPE to most health institutions here. So there will be capacity, put in place a capacity among the schools to carry out tests where there is a need.
All right. Pascal Achidine, we have to leave the conversation here now. Thank you so much for
It's our pleasure.
Thank you.